Oh, well, this is new. So, for context, we just finished running through Jinako's first, dungeon floor, got her SG where she's a big old liar and puts up all these signs that are really obvious lies. And, yeah, now we got this. This is new. I see it day-to-day life. That's the, Tsukimihara Academy right there, where the days passed quietly. I was always going through them, or rather, it's like I had gone through them at some point. Through those fond days. An infirmary? How many days had I spent there, I wonder? It was a fairly long time, but looking back on it now, it was all so fleeting. It feels like it ended in the blink of an eye. Yeah, I didn't even get to play that part, because as soon as I took control of the actual main character in Fate Extra, it was already servant time. That's... Sakura! That's something that certainly happened. I recover lost memories. Oh yeah, and we also had just regained our memories after taking them back from Passionlip and whatnot. I spoke with her for many days inside that infirmary about the days that were passing by. To her, who would eventually disappear, and to me, who had nothing, that time was precious. So then, why did I forget about it? Since I lost them, since they were erased, there must be some meaning to it. BB suppressed these memories for some purpose. Memories of what happened over just a single day before the Holy Grail War started. And I'm seeing the moon cell here. The Sakura moon cell, which was only present in the end game. And Gil is asleep. I awake from a long dream. No, that was no dream. Getting my memories back is affecting me. Everything I experienced in the preliminary was fake. The dream I was shown because of BB was of a fabricated preliminary. I could always recall what happened during the preliminary ever since I woke up in the far side of the moon. But now that I have my memories back, scenes which hadn't crossed my mind now start to. Like how during the preliminary, I tended to Sakura by the entrance. Like how after that, my daily routine became chatting with her in the infirmary. But the memories I got back are evidence that these memories couldn't have happened. Putting the preliminary stuff aside, it's a tough word for me to say apparently. For a second, Sakura served all the masters in the Holy Grail War's final selection equally as an impersonal AI. The only thing I spoke to Sakura about was the day that I tended to her by the entrance anyway. And so no matter how I looked at it, these fragmented events I just saw couldn't have possibly occurred. I'm rewriting it as I speak. I don't know what the meaning behind this contradiction is right now. It's inexplicable, but I don't have time to ruminate over it right now. I take a deep breath and leave my room with Gilgamesh beside me, even though he's asleep. Determined once more, I step forward. Alright, first up, Student Council briefing. Indeed. Moving on. Good morning, you're looking a little on the pale side today. Shall I put on some black tea to settle you out?
Leo.
If I may, Leo, Julius is currently elsewhere. Utilizing Lady Rin's capacities may induce the opposite effect. On the other hand, Lady Rani's chai is not for everyone. I believe it is would be wise to refrain from black tea this morning. I like Rani's sugar-packed milk tea though. However, it does seem likely that it'll cause heartburn with how strong it is. Nebulous, we'll leave the black tea for another time. Come now, let's be hopeful that we'll get another chance for a tea party. I like tea parties. I like tea. Our president's got nerves of steel, doesn't he? He can't give up feeling playful, because this isn't the Holy Grail War. That's not true, is what I would like to say, but my level of alertness certainly has gone down. I'll be more cautious. Compared to the alter ego, Jinako Karigiri's disposition is mild. I think President Leo is judging this correctly. In other words, she's not a threat. Whatever. However, regarding the properties of an SG, there's no difference between those of an alter ego and a NEET. You have a point. A compulsive liar SG. We have yet to encounter a type like this. Although, I honestly can't comprehend what SGs actually are. There's such a variety of them. Do all you women have them? We've gone over this before, Leo, but, don't phrase it like that. Excuse me, I don't know or want to know what you mean by you women, but asking that is poor etiquette, President Leo. My apologies, you're right. By not only revealing women's secrets, but also evaluating them, I'll get complaints from women's groups. I'll get complaints from a lot of people in general. Yet, it's amazing that BB was able to induce such remarkable manifestations of the human mind's ways. Every human tries to hide a guilty conscience. Even I'm no exception to that. I really doubt that. People like you go around practically wearing fairness and justice on your backs. Even I've done things such as fake attendance in my lessons from time to time. When I do cheat, I'm efficient at it. At any rate, it's good that we cleared the floor, though now we'll need to really look around to get Jinako's SGs. She is a compulsive liar. The best thing to do may be to forget about Jinako as we knew her. Doesn't this bring into question the credibility of the information Jinako Karigiri provided to us before? That's true. It's a good idea to re-examine it. Considering her SG, her personal information should be a top priority. Well then, Nebulous, Gilgamesh, please keep up the good work. I reply to Leo with a nod and say, leave it to us. Wait, putting that aside for a second, I haven't seen Sakura. Okay, yeah, this has been weird because she's not here. I don't remember if she wasn't here before, but considering all the, new root stuff surrounds her, I mean, I guess the whole game sort of surrounds her, but especially the new game stuff, this is kind of important. Huh, you're right. Where did she go? Rani, do you know what happened to Sakura? I apologize. I also became aware of it just now. I was too focused on my work. Now, was Sakura here last time? Or was she not here and no one noticed? And only now I notice? No matter where she moves to, Sakura would be sure to say something to us. She might not be in sight, but maybe she's in this room. I feel the same way. Sakura wouldn't leave this room without saying anything. What do you think, Leo? Oh, yes. She fainted not too long ago, so I ordered her to rest in the infirmary. I told her to come back in an hour. You wanna let us know? Or are you just gonna not inform us of our allies' condition? Fainted? What? Why are you so nonchalant, keeping quiet about something so important? I agree with Miss Tosaka. As much as you have no prejudice against AI, you occasionally act more mechanical than one, President Leo. Ha! You're less human than the non-human. I was respecting Sakura's own wishes, but not letting you all know was an oversight on my part. I'm sorry. Huh? Well, okay. As long as you feel some remorse. What's with you today? Did a couple of screws come loose, Leo? Maybe you're the one who needs black tea? It appears that way. I'm all blunders this morning. Due to witnessing everyone's SGs, Sakura may have been overwhelmed by the complexity of the mind. And now she's finally awake, so please don't worry. She'll be focusing harder from now on. Nebulous, I'll leave Sakura in your care. If you have the time, please go check up on how she's doing. I plan to, and it's probably going to give me a little Sakura pedal to tell me to do so. Go to dungeon, but... Show it me. Head to the infirmary. Off we go. Okay. Yeah, I honestly don't remember if she wasn't there in the first place, but I looked back on it. She's definitely there, not there now. We arrive in front of the infirmary. What's with me? The thought of entering is making me nervous for some reason. This was just a plain old room back in the Holy Grail War. but now it has importance to me. The word infirmary may have some special meaning, but not because this is the old school, but because it's where Sakura is. How impudent of her. Mongrel, I shall wait here. Finish your business quickly. Thank you, Gil, for being considerate in your own Gil way. Where is she? Leaving Gilgamesh in the hallway, I enter the infirmary alone. Sakura is... Oh, hi. Feeling better? You gonna call me senpai? Scholar, why are you here? Sakura looks at me perplexed. She's acting like she saw a ghost. I start by explaining the situation. I heard you fainted, so I came to check up on you. So that's why. Thank you for going out of your way to pay me a visit. I was resting up until just now, so my bodily functions have almost recovered. But you're more exhausted than I am, Scholar. I can tell without a scan. You look pale. Overall not good. Because I'm worried about you. I think you pushed yourself a little too hard, Scholar. Please consider your own needs, okay? Goes Sakura, as if scolding a child. I'm not a child. Also, I don't know if the mic is going to pick that up. That's odd. Her little gesture makes me feel awfully relieved. What could I do now? What could... I know. How about a medical check? What? I declined, telling her it's not necessary. I'm only in a daze because I'm entranced by her movements. Okay. Didn't expect it to go that way that quick. Okay. I have nothing else to suggest, but, if you have the time, maybe you can stay here for just a while longer? You got it. It's weird for an AI like me to be asking this. What's weird about it? I don't see why. Well, I mean, mechanically, it's a waste of processing time and space. AIs don't do pointless things. Maybe it's weird if you take that nature of theirs into account. Regardless, staying in the infirmary works fine just for me. Works just fine for me. I can read. I nod and take a seat. Of course. Let's chat. Alright, thank you. Okay, please sit tight. We don't get to do this often, so have your fill of my goods. Your what? Oh, see, we're surprised. Fill of her goods? What is Sakura talking about? All we've had you do is fight, fight, fight. At least let me treat you to some tea whenever you're in the infirmary. Yeah. Sakura, just put this in the information banks. Phrasing. Huh? Is something wrong? Perhaps your heart rate is elevated? Okay, tea. Okay. I almost made the blunder of my life thanks to her tricky linguistics. Tea, no problem. Better, I'll humbly partake. It's just black tea? Yes, please help yourself. I tried reproducing high-grade Keeman tea. Okay, see? See? It was gonna be specialty. You can't find this on Earth anymore. Oh, is the plant extinct at this point? The planet is kind of in the process of severely dying right now. So that's kind of a shame. But hey, digital replicas. It's the next best thing, I guess. The black tea Sakura made for me has a flowery fragrance. I kind of hope so. It is tea. We're not doing anything. We don't need to talk about anything. We're just leisurely enjoying some tea. There's a clock ticking. The setting sun dyes the interior orange. This moment is peaceful. The countless worries always hovering over me are no longer present. Senpai? The next thing I knew, I was expressing doubts that were weighing on my mind. About how despite having my memories back, I can't recall the reason why I fight. But the fear of it, Wow. Let's roll it back. I read too many lines ahead. About the fear of if I'm nothing more than a nameless somebody, even as of now, even if I did participate and fight through the Holy Grail War. Now I know. I had realized that I'm Nebulous Scholar, a master inside the Seraph. I probably chose to fight through the Holy Grail War, to shed light on my circumstances, my own reasons, to find out who I was. Against that person, me, masters fought and perished. Some fought for desire, some fought for beliefs, some fought for faith, some fought for ideals. And finally, some sought to prove themselves. They all gambled their lives and lost. I stand atop their corpses. I don't regret it. I mustn't. The person who won, stole their way to the top, has all the more obligation to stay strong. And yet, I understand that, and yet still feel restless. Is my worth really based solely on compensating for their deaths? Before I lost my memories, was I? Is the Nebulous Scholar sitting here now a person worthy of being a master? I don't really know how to quite put this, but is it really that important if you have memories or not? I'm an AI. Both my body and personality were originally created to be a certain way. And that doesn't involve any past experiences. I run myself as me, and even if I am artificial, I live in the present. In the same way, you, senpai, you, scholar, are living in the present. Even without your past, your soul remains the same. Regardless of whether you have a past or not, your abilities are hardwired. Your performance you exhibit is hardwired. Well, I know that experience in doing something raises one's abilities, so let's leave the details aside. What I'm basically trying to say is that you're fantastic even without a past, senpai. No matter your situation, there must be someone that owes you for your help. I get that sort of feeling. Is it you? Are you happy that I'm around? That I'm staying around? Even though you shouldn't, via the rules? Sakura does her utmost in explaining, so as to encourage my disheartened self. Her compassion eases the pain in my heart. Though this doesn't actually solve anything, just hearing her say that not having a past is fine was a warm light upon my sorry self. I'm sorry for speaking out of line. Hearing these words from an AI isn't very convincing, is it? If anything, it's very convincing. That's not true. Thank you very much. I'm glad. I know I might get scolded, but I wanted to express my thoughts to you, senpai. But it's so very strange, even to me. To me, senpai, you're, like, special. Even if there's no reason, I don't want to leave you alone. Your wish is to escape from this place, senpai. As an AI, helping you is logically to be expected. I'm not sure why, but in spite of that, it feels like you and I are similar. It makes me want to root for you. Sakura laughs jokingly. I'm not a very good AI, am I? Next thing I knew, all the uneasiness lurking inside me dissipated. I guess that's thanks to Sakura and the black tea she made for me. No, I had nothing to do with it. Did you know? This is magic tea. It helps all your emotions settle out. Sakura smiles bashfully. I've seen that gesture before. Did we have such a conversation before? That's right. This is the setting that I've seen countless times in that dream previously. I don't think it was a dream. I have a feeling that I've spent countless peaceful moments with Sakura here. Countless times here? With me? I nod. That's the feeling I'm getting. After Sakura mulls it over for a while. It's just your imagination, scholar. I've spoken with you 3 times here so far. AI, unlike quasi-spiritualized humans, don't consciously, unconsciously forget things. There's no mistake. Oh, I see. Something is bugging me, but I don't think Sakura would lie. No, there's no reason why an AI would lie. Well, it's about that time. If I hold you here for too long, Leo will start yelling at me. Be careful exploring the labyrinth. Keep up the good work, senpai. Sakura sees me out of the infirmary. Alright, let's get our heads back in the game and continue the exploration. And you're just back, Gil? Alright. I guess, for now, until the next new bit, let's get exploring. So apparently, I missed Karna's last, matrix, which I didn't realize and has been bothering me, and that's because after I get kicked out of the student council room, I'm supposed to go back in. I did not realize. Hey look, Ronnie has things to tell me, so this is new. It's not for the root, but, it is info. The final battle is nigh. Nebulous, do you have Launcher's Matrix? Now that Ronnie mentions it, I forgot about it. I have 2 of them. I was in such a rush to gather Jinako's SGs that I left Launcher's, Karna's Matrix incomplete, literally missing like the last bit. In that case, I recommend gathering some information at the library. It was there the whole time. He's one of many famous heroes of India's mythology. There should be detailed descriptions of him in the sacred Mahabharata. Makes sense. Knowing that makes this a lot easier. Before going into the relief, let's stop by the library and investigate. Maybe it will give me an advantage in battle. Not that I need one, because I can, like... Well, I didn't record it, but there's the, like, one-turn fight against him that you get. And he... Or rather, Jinako has a codecast that basically reduces magic damage to 0. And so I tried using Gate of Babylon, which is magic damage, and he just started taking no damage. And I was like, oh, well, there goes that. I gotta try something different now. Found it. This is the Mahabharata, which supposedly contains descriptions of Karna. Since Ronnie called it sacred, I figured it would be pretty long and complicated, but this is a bit beyond what I imagined. Let's see. This massively thick book is... how many volumes? Yeah, it's a lot. I did actually study Hindu mythology at one point, but I, didn't retain any of it because it was a lot. Pardon me, I forgot to tell you something. The Mahabharata is extremely long, so to read it normally would take time. It seems I was too late. Please don't look into the communication terminal like a donkey off to be sold. Listen, don't make fun of me. No need to worry, I'll perform a lookup and gather only the main points all into one matrix. That should be readable, right? Why'd you make me come to the library then, if you knew this was gonna happen? Thank you. I nod fiercely. Thank you, Ronnie. Looking good in those glasses today, too. She always looks good in glasses. Let's head back to my room for now and look over this matrix. Let us do that indeed. The final piece. Because I know for a fact I hadn't done this. It should be character background 1, because I started with 2. I don't think there was anything else that you actually need to learn about him. It's just the last bit of info. But let's see it. Give it to me. There it is. Oh, also I have BB info from the last route, so I can read that since we're here. I haven't touched it yet, obviously. Character background 1. Karna appears in the Indian epic, the Mahabharata, as a hero on the vanquished side. The Mahabharata's central conflict is a power struggle between the Pandava and the Kaurava royal families. Karna is famous as the rival of Arjuna, a great hero in Hindu mythology. Karna was born from the daughter of a human king, Kunti, and the sun god, Surya. Kunti was a wife of the Kuru king Pandu, but he was under a curse preventing him from having children, so each of his queens had no choice but to bear children by other means. Kunti was a woman who had a mantra that allowed her to copulate with and bear the child of any god, and thus give Pandu children in that manner. So she was the best one? But before she became the king's wife, she tested that mantra and bore a single child. Oh, so Karna isn't the king's child either. He's just Surya's child. He's not marked or categorized as the child of the king. That child was Karna, the golden hero born via relations with the sun god Surya. Kunti was a determined woman, and, afraid of her first birth and anxious if the god acknowledged his own child, prayed to Surya, "I want proof that this child is your son." Surya heard Kunti's words and gave unto the child, upon his birth, his own power and attributes. That was the origin of the golden armor that rendered Karna invulnerable. But, even shown such a grace and sincerity, Kunti abandoned her first son. For her to be a queen of Kuru King Pandu, the existence of her son not but unnecessary. That is how Karna, abandoned by his own mother, came to be ignorant of his own birth, but lived with only the things given by his father, the sun god Surya, held in his chest. Or on his chest. Its armor. Karna's form, ignorant of his mother's face and unsure if her motives were dishonest, couldn't be called beautiful. While he had his father's brilliant authority, his form was stained black. His countenance was cruel, and every action was violent. Because he lacked a human mother, he didn't learn the subtleties of human emotion and spent his days considered a nuisance by the people around him. He was a delinquent. That was how Karna grew up, but he didn't resent his mother or his surroundings. Instead, he accepted everything. I was given life by my mother and father. No matter how my mother was, I hold no contempt for her. If there is anyone I hate that I hold contempt for, it is for myself alone. Contrary to appearance, Karna was an exceedingly virtuous and perceptive child. It's likely because he was the child of a god, as well as someone without a single relative. Karna was blessed with the opportunity to examine the weak, their lives, and their value. As a result, he chose to walk a path of purity of his own free will. I, who was born with more than others, should show a proof of life greater than them. Unless I do so, those without power will never be rewarded. Karna simply had the conviction to live without dishonoring his father's prestige or shaming those who compensated him. Ruthless and relentless, yet also full of majesty, was Karna's stance taken shape. And so Karna, as a young man, participated in a conference for the Kuru family. At this conference, the 5 Pandava brothers indulged in their prided and famed martial arts. The third son's Arjuna's archery was especially magnificent, to the point that he was praised as having no equal. And that's why he's an archer class. When the grounds united as one voice seeking someone to equal the Pandavas, Karna leapt in to participate and displayed martial arts on the same level as Arjuna's. As an aside, the reason the unmotivated Karna challenged Arjuna is famous yet ambiguous. It was later confirmed to be because Arjuna was the only opponent that Karna, who never envied or hated anyone, was conscious of. Literally, he's like, this guy's good. He's the only person I've ever thought is good. How does he match up against me? Karna challenged Arjuna to determine superiority. But to challenge Arjuna, a member of the royal family, one must be a Kshatriya or higher. Kshatriya, those of the military or royalty in the caste system. Karna seemed a Vaishya, merchant, or Shudriya, slave. Those are two very different occupations. Karna, his challenge refused due to the difference in status, was a laughingstock. The one who saved Karna from this was the eldest of the Kauravas clan's 100 princes, who opposed the Pandavas, Duryodhana. He took interest in Karna and made him a king on the spot. Karna was saved from disgrace, but then his foster father, hearing his promotion, appeared to establish his origins. The 5 Pandava brothers further ridiculed Karna, who displayed martial arts superior to their own, saying, "The son of a coachman should have a sense of shame." I mean, you're the guys who are getting showed up by a simple coachman. These words enraged Karna. If it were about himself, he would be resigned and accept, but he would not allow insults toward his foster father. Even if it was a foster father who made himself known out of greed to Karna, he was the father who raised him, who Karna should take pride in. The conflict between Karna and the 5 Pandava brothers had become something he couldn't back down from, but sunset had come and the conference came to an end. From then on, Karna, as the friend of Duryodhana, who saved him and treated him as a king, lived as a guest of honor of the Kaurava clan's 100 princes. What awaited him was a cruel battle beyond comprehension with the 5 Pandava brothers, with the great hero Arjuna. And then he died. I mean, things happened, but in the end, Karna died. It's funny because like when you meet Arjuna in other games, like say in Fate, Samurai Remnant, he's clearly still a hero, but at the same time he's like maybe he feels more like an anti-hero compared to say Karna, who's like always a Boy Scout. I don't know, that Arjuna always sort of gives off that feeling. He's like, I don't know. I want to see how they reacted to each other in Fate Extella Link, because Karna was there first. Because from here into Extella Link, and then Arjuna shows up in Extella Link, and it's like, okay, well they apparently can't separate these two enough, because they're both in FGO, and then they show up both in Extella Link, but Arjuna's the one who gets to be in Samurai Remnant, while Karna gets to be in the original Extra and Apocrypha. So, it's funny like that. Anyway, BB, you have things here. Noble Phantasm, CCC, Cursed Cutting Crater. Hey, guess what? I didn't get to see that. I didn't even get to see the activation requirements because she died so fast. Whoops. I'll collect it later for the skill primer when I eventually get to that. It's going to take so long to do that. The first extra skill primer took forever, and this one's going to be even longer. But we'll get to see it there, just not in the playthrough. Once again, whoops. Anyway, Cursed Cutting Crater. An attack on the world committed by BB using the Moon Cell, also known as the Imaginary Spiritron Pit. A world purge by means of rewriting events, making maximum use of the EX rank skill BB had acquired, Potnia Theron, conception of all animals. The mother of the earth goddess who created the earth. In other words, the root of all things, swirl of the root. An anti-world noble phantasm that outputs information like an ultra-precise 3D printer that crushes the present world with the world desired by the user. That is a crazy way of putting it, but literally rewriting the world and laying it over, crushing all the other worlds underneath it to replace it. The space BB eroded becomes imaginary space, and a curse that consumes reality, CCC as the name suggests, is a cursed pit that bores out reality, which is funny because she, again, doesn't get the whole crater cutting until her summer, I guess Pele form, Pele BB. But it's more because they didn't have the animation ability back then. And it's like, we finally got to do it. Hey, remember this lore? We made it a joke. In addition to scattering and reconstructing all objects present on an atomic level, it is capable of rewriting information such as coincidence or luck. While theoretical, it's possible to distort the time axis by interfering with gravitational fields and rewrite the law of cause and effect. So in other words, she just rewrites the world by carving it out and reassembling it. When used in combat, BB's shapeshifter familiars engulf the target. Ah, that's what it's supposed to look like, yes. Engulf the target, turn into a sphere, and are wiped from the dimension along with the target. So basically, she summons shadows, kind of how she captured Jinako, which I don't have the footage of the most recent time, but, you know, go back to that episode where she captured Jinako. I don't remember the number. Basically, she does that. She wraps them up inside a sphere of shadows and then slaps it, causing it to explode and vanish. Normally, it should be impossible to make a structure capable of sharing values on the far side of the moon, an imaginary space. The power of this noble phantasm is what established BB's internal world as the Sakura Labyrinth. So it's kind of like a reality marble, but different in that it's rewriting the world as opposed to being a temporary replacement for the world. Either way, it sounds very strong. at least conceptually. Remnants of those days. In the preliminaries, her free will was unleashed by Kiara. She couldn't control the status abnormality and overloaded. Wait a minute. So I know Kiara is supposed to be way more important, which is why I was so very surprised at how she died in the last route. But that's some critical info right there. BB's free will was unleashed by Kiara. So she's here because she kicked this off. CCC happens not because of BB, but because Kiara woke BB up. That is very new, very important information. She unleashed BB, and then BB was like, but I do what I want. Since NPCs only follow their routine, they ignored Sakura as she was disintegrating to nothing. And in the prelims, the moon cell only performs a check at the end of the day, so Sakura was in danger of being terminated. And that's where I come along and be like, are you okay, and help her. Witnessing this abnormality, Nebulous Scholar called out to her. Are you okay? She asked. On the verge of termination, receiving the observation of being here by another helped Sakura recover from unconsciousness, and, while being nursed, acquired the ego of wanting to be here. Her self-destruction was averted. So because she was blown up by Kiara and was slowly vanishing because no one saw her, her being observed basically said, hey, Mooncell, you should probably pay attention to that. And so she woke up to her own, acquired the ego of wanting to be here. Sakura gained a will to say, I want to live, instead of just being an AI, instead of being an NPC. What happened afterwards need not be said. When the day comes, the moon cell erases everything. To continue the miracle of this single day, Sakura used her privilege as an advanced AI to repeat the day she met Nebulous Scholar for 69 days. Okay, I know this is serious, but nice. And that's why I have repeating memories of it. How many times have I seen this scene? I don't know. Sakura's been replaying it. But at the same time, according to her recorded memories, it's only been 3 times. It's been the same 3 times repeatedly, but it's only been 3 times. But as the days passed, Sakura began to suffer from self-contradictions as an AI, and from the fact of dragging Nebulous Scholar into this. So basically she's going rampant. In the Holy Grail War, all participating masters, save one, will die. No, to begin with, Nebulous Scholar is not even real. Sakura suffered between selfishly looping these happy times for eternity and her feelings for Nebulous Scholar. In the end, she chose to seal the 69 days of her memories, the love she acquired, and to return to being a normal AI. So she took the feelings, the memories, and cut them out. And that residual data was, well, we'll see. An AI is unable to delete records. That's why, to reset herself, she transferred her memories to a backup frame. So she can't delete that data. It's there. But she can't have it be a part of her because she's going to want to be attached to it. So she cut that out and put it into a different Sakura model. That's why BB is the way she is. Because she is all the emotion, all the power, all the memories. Which of course makes her relatively unstable because you need the rest of it to balance out. But she's just the emotion. Believing it to be for the best for Nebulous Scholar. But even if the memories of the mind are lost, the memories recorded by the body live on. The girl that should have forgotten everything, went back to being a normal AI, was shaken by emotional values of unknown origin every time she talked to Nebulous Scholar, She cut out the memories and the emotion, but the changes stuck. She will always react when Nebulous speaks to her, because that is how she has been changed. It doesn't matter that she lost the memories, doesn't matter that she lost the emotions, they will come back. Meanwhile, the backup she transferred her memory to couldn't forgive that self of hers, and planning to destroy the Mooncell systems towards a certain objective, decided to rebel and make her move as BB. In real time, she sees the far side of the moon between the end of the 5th and the start of the 6th round. The 4 yet to be eliminated, Nebulous Scholar, Leo, Rin, Ronnie, as well as the irregular Jinako, were abducted from the Holy Grail War while still alive. Defeated masters such as Shinji Mato, Gato, and Julius were moved to imaginary space 0.00001, I may have put too many zeros, seconds before the firewall would have annihilated them, prolonging their momentary lives. Regardless, CCC is a dream that BB is having. If the dreamer is gone, the world should return to a reality where nothing ever happened. By the way, the ordinary scenery from the prologue that Nebulous Scholar saw in her nightmare was an artificial paradise based on the discarded 69 days. After pulling Nebulous Scholar to the far side, BB sent her digital frame to the old school building, put her into a deep sleep, and sealed her in a never-ending dream. Ordinarily, she would have lived peace that way, but due to the strong bond with her servant, or perhaps Nebulous's willful rejection of those peaceful days, the artificial garden cracked, and Nebulous noticed. To return Nebulous Scholar to her deep sleep, BB tried to reset the school building and redo the dream, but Nebulous managed to escape from the reset and leapt further into imaginary space, which is me jumping off the building into the darkness. It was deeper than the bottom of the id. Beneath the unconscious, it was the death of the collective unconscious. What saved Nebulous Scholar, who leaped into a domain even BB couldn't reach, was the voice of the servant who shared her fate. Thus, the contract was sealed, and so Nebulous Scholar woke up in the old school building, left on the far side of the moon. That's why BB looks like Sakura. She is the Sakura model, but she's the one with all the emotion that Sakura tried to cut away. Oh. That explains also why she's so fixated on me, and why she really, really wants to save us in the end. BB. You're a lot, you know that? You're almost too much. Alright, let's go beat up Karna. I don't want to take too many hits, but I could probably blitz him down in at least 1 or 2 turns. But I don't know what that codecast is. If Jinako's codecast gives him magic defense, then I need to swap, like, right there. But for now, let's just blast him. And in that case, we'll use Clear the Storm, Clear the Storm, Clear the Storm. And maybe that should get him. That should be enough damage, right? Let's see. Stunned? No skill on me? Good. Not gonna take a Brahmastra. Damage is good. Can we get another stun? Nah, he guarded it. No, that's gonna drain my MP though, isn't it? Yeah, a tiny bit. I'll be fine. Let me get the paralysis. Still fine. He can use Wasabi Shakti on me now, though. You know, I don't think I'm gonna get enough damage because he's blocking too much. Never mind. This last one may end it. And if it doesn't, I should be good. Now we're good. 1 cycle! Bye, Karna.